budgeting series. In this installment, we are going over equipment in a budget, and in this part, we are going to go over putting equipment into the budget as well as justifying it. As a quick recap, the two criteria for UIS when deciding if something is equipment is if it has both a useful life of more than a year and is at least $5,000 per unit. A pro tip is to itemize equipment in the proposal to document prior approval. It's much easier to do at the proposal stage to make a smooth transition to the award stage. Typically, when you itemize these and justify them, it is in the budget and the budget justification. In rare cases, it might show up in your scope of work. It is very important to include it in the budget because the issuance of the notice of award does constitute prior approval. In the instance of a National Institutes of Health modular budget where a budget justification is not required for equipment, it's important to have the justification and the quotes on hand when calculating the internal F&A base and for justifying things so that we have documentation in the event of an audit. If an award is issued and the costs were not included in the original budget, prior written approval must be received from federal awarding agencies or pass-through entities prior to incurring costs. It does need to include a budget and a justification, and it needs to go to the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs. In the internal budget, the equipment line is very, very basic. We are just asking for the dollar amount. In sponsor budgets, it will be more detailed. In the budget justification, it will be more detailed. But for the internal budget, very simple. In the Illinois state budget, equipment is the fourth category, and they want a little more description, quantity, cost per item, and then it will calculate quantity times cost per item for the equipment cost. Very similar in the federal R&R budget, things are itemized and it asks for the funds requested. And again, very similar, just Section D instead of Section C. In the National Science Foundation budget, it does line them out and ask for the cost. When you justify them, it should not just be a simple one line. For full transparency, I am not a scientist. I have no need of any equipment that is $5,000 or more, so I did have ChatGPT come up with several potential options of equipment that a small teaching institution might use. So if any of these are incorrect, please do not take this as scientific basis. This is just an example. But the important thing is showing that it is essential or required or dedicated to the project, explaining where the cost is coming from. It's not a randomly or arbitrarily assigned value. And in some places, explain that the university does not have anything comparable or duplicative of what you need. The purpose of the justification is to ensure that the sponsor sees value in what you are asking for in order to complete your work to meet their funding goals. In our next installment, we'll be going over one of the potentially more complicated sections of the budget, which is travel. Stay tuned.